What's up guys, this is Miasin, and this video is going to be really interesting because we're going to be going over a bunch of fan favorite decks that used to exist like before 2020 or something, and a lot of them are not really seeing play anymore, and maybe because they're not really good anymore, or because Konami kind of forgot to support them, or maybe they will be seeing more play very soon. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and yeah, let's get right into it as soon as you smash the like and subscribe button. Okay, so we got 4 categories, the Konami's favorites, the ones that are already extremely good without needing much support. The ones that are, decent already, but, they could get a little better. And the ones that really need more support in order to be good. And the ones that are absolutely pathetic, and I can't really imagine a world in which they could ever make a comeback. Okay, so Blackwing is first. This deck is a really old school fan favorite. It's been around since, what, like 2009 or something, maybe 2008. I forgot the exact year because I wasn't really, I was like semi-around. I was still in like elementary school when the deck first came out. 6 Samurai, even though it got like more support, I don't think it's in a really good position. As a matter of fact, I almost want to downgrade it to Yikes just because like the last time that we saw this deck being like somewhat competitive, it was as like the Rongo Turbo deck, and it wasn't really much of a 6 Samurai deck. It was just like you play a lot of like warrior cards with like Isolde and equip spells, and it just feels a little stupid. So you just summon like 2 warrior monsters and then it's combo, but now as an actual 6 Samurai deck, it has a lot of flaws. It's not consistent enough. You don't really have any 1-card combos, you just have like 2-card combinations, and even though you can beat Nibiru and stuff, it still loses to a lot of other kinds of interruptions. So I think if you obviously unlimit Gateway of the 6, that would be like a step into the right direction. But even then, I still feel like the deck is missing a little bit of something, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Fire Fist is next, and even though, again, the most recent support that it got, the Link monsters, they're like clearly really good because now you can start using like your Fire Fist-like effects without having to send like the Fire Formation cards. That really made the deck like so much better. It was pretty much almost like the dream support for it. But all it was really doing was just generating a lot of advantage and not really making like huge unbreakable boards. The deck was not naturally good going second. It's just a lot of very old cards, so it needs like a really huge revamp in order to work. So I don't think that Fire Fist is like in a really good position anymore. Sword Soul is a deck that is already very good. Okay, Mermail Atlantean. Yeah, this is a fan favorite from the player base, but also Konami loves this deck. And it's in a very, very good position right now. Really recommend you look into this deck. It's fun, it's competitive, and it has a bright future ahead of it. Sky Striker is also a Konami favorite. It always gets like a random support every now and then, and it also kind of just manages to do randomly well, especially thanks to like Ryan Yu, which is the GOAT with a Sky Striker. I love this deck, but I don't believe in it. So I was really shocked to see Ryan Yu get second at YCS Niagara, to say for the least, but it does make sense considering just how good he is with the deck, and, it could be a good meta call, but clearly this deck is, it ages very well over the years, and now it has everything back to 3, Kagari, Engage, and everything. Dark World is, it's weird because, like, it's a very aggressive deck, and it's very consistent and powerful, but it has major flaws through, like, Droll, Shifter, etc., so it needs more support to really fix those flaws. It doesn't need support to bump up the consistency or power level because clearly this deck doesn't lack any of that. It lacks resilience, and it lacks an ability to just play, adapt itself to like a Stoller playstyle. Right now it's like a go big or go home deck, and if your opponent just says, no, don't play this turn, you can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. Paleozoic is a very slow deck, but it's actually a decent trap deck. Honestly, there's a lot of cool ways to play it. You can play it with, you can almost play it with like furniture monster, like a labyrinth cards and the furnitures, but I don't think that's necessarily how you want to play it out. I'm trying to think when's the last time I really saw Paleozoic do much of anything. It was against me, actually. I lost to that deck at YCS Niagara. So yeah, it's a cool strategy, but it's not like super insane. Clearly, it could get a little better, but I'm not going to complain too much. Any, like, generic traps are basically, like, indirect support for Paleozoic. Okay, Hero is obviously a Konami favorite, but every single time it's just always, like, a bunch of 1-ofs that the deck receives. Sometimes it's a 3-of, but, like, that's it, right? So I still think that Hero is a good deck that you can still play right now. Whatever, it's about to become better. There you go. Right now, it's not, like, super insane. It has issues going second for sure, because you can't play that many non-engine cards. And the deck is just overall very weird to play. It has, like, no margin of error. It's so easy to make, like, a a small misplay that screws you up completely. Pendulum seriously needs more support, but I actually almost want to put in the yikes section. It's also like a fan favorite, so that's the reason why I don't want to talk too much smack on it, especially if like Triff is watching this video. So yeah, shoutouts to Steven. This is the anti-meta stun deck. No, yeah, you might as well play Runic Stun if you want to play anti-meta, but Fossil Dyna and stuff like that's still annoying, except that every single time you lose the dice roll, you lose the match, so topping a YCS with a stupid deck like this is completely unrealistic. Dinosaur, it's not even that they need more support, it's especially that they need Misk back to 3, which hopefully is not going to happen anytime soon, but it might, because Jirak is getting more support. Yes, if you've watched the video that I've uploaded this morning, if it was this morning, I forgot already. Who cares, whatever. Dinosaur, actually, no, it's already a decent deck. Why would it be down here? No, this deck is still kind of playable. It's just that it's like at the very bottom of decent already. It clearly could have been a little better. Gladiator Beast is, I mean, it's about to get more support, but we already know that, and with the new support, the deck is getting a little better. I do like the Primite engine in this deck. I think it's really nice. You can summon the Andalus from your deck. Even if you have like another Andalus in your hand, then you make Link Spider, you summon the other one, and then you can make Test Panther or the Gladiator Beast. Forgot the name, the good one, not the bad one, not the Dragassis. Yeah, that one's ass cheeks. Literally has no effect. But yeah, Gladiator Beast, a really cool deck, and going second, it's not garbage. Your battle phase really matters in this deck. Going second and going first, you just make unbreakable boards. So yeah, it's nice. I think it aged relatively well, but again, it does get... actually, I'm going to put it here just because I'm including the new support, but without it, it would have been here. But again, it is getting new support in Supreme Darkness. Okay, Shaddoll is completely unplayable as a deck. It clearly needs more support in order to be played as a Kui strategy. However, as a splashable engine, if you're really just talking about like Shaddoll Fusion and like 1 or 2 Shaddoll monsters in order to side so that going second you can summon like something and then trigger a bunch of effects, that's actually pretty good. As a matter of fact, against the Fire King deck, Shaddoll Fusion pretty much breaks the board because you can summon Abkalone and then send Ariel and like Shaddoll Dragon. You destroy something like Island if they got rid of Sanctuary, or like a face down back row or whatever, and then you send Ariel. Ariel will trigger Banish the Garunix, the Princess, and a bunch of annoying things so that your opponent pretty much runs out of resources. It's kind of like Soul Release, and also when this dies, you get a search, etc. So I think the Shaddoll Fusion package is extremely good, but the Shaddoll deck itself, no. It's way too slow. It's basically just a bunch of flip effect monsters. And yeah, if you're trying to fuse, then you also lose to like Retaliating Sea and stuff like that. The deck is overall just meh. Virtual World, this deck doesn't suck. It's kind of like decent already, but it keeps getting worse and worse every time because Beatrice got banned, so you can't really do like the unfair combo from, you know, back in the days where you send transaction roll back in the Mayakashi trap. So that's a huge downgrade. So the deck feels fair now, which is unfair for Virtual World because it's a bad deck naturally. It used to be good, but now not really. Power creep is a bitch, I swear to God. Necros is about to get more support, but the support is really good, so I'm gonna put it here. But again, these two decks, that's including the Supreme Darkness support, so yeah, keep that in mind. That is the reason why I'm making this video, by the way. Altergeist is... yeah, it keeps getting more support, and it's always really bad, so... I'm kind of tempted to put it here, but it's actually not bad, because even, like, in 2024, if you are facing 4 trap cards and a multi-faker, I don't know about you, but I'm still terrified. So, actually, as a matter of fact, I think it's actually, like, more threatening than Virtual World, but then again, going second, this deck is not really good. I mean, it's a trap deck, it's a little slow, it plays a lot of monsters for a trap deck, it's really weird, and yeah, it's really weird. Cosmo is... also very similar. I mean, like now, if you just summon like Dark Destroyer, it really just doesn't apply pressure anymore. It's not like back in the days, a monster that can be targeted by card effects, also floats and has a 3000 attack, and can destroy a card on the field on summon. Oh my god. Well, not really anymore. Now nobody really gives two shits about Dark Destroyer. So yeah, this deck is way too slow. It doesn't do much of anything. Orchist is absolutely a Konami fan favorite. And also, a Konami favorite and a fan favorite. Yeah, this deck ages very well over the years because it's about to get more support, and the support is really, really good. The Link one is, insane. Burning Abyss is actually a yikes because it actually gets worse every single time. Again, because Beatrice is now banned, so this deck got from, like, very bad to, like, completely unplayable. So the only way that Burning Abyss can make a comeback is if Beatrice comes back with an errata to make it like literally better in its own deck, which I actually think it'll happen, but whatever, we can always cross our fingers. I think Burning Abyss deserves to come back, but right now it is in a terrible position, and True Draco is another yikes deck because Masterpiece is banned, even though I think even if you were to like unban it, the deck it would still do nothing, because okay, what are you doing? Like summon one Masterpiece? Nice deck, Bernard, and also Skill Drain is at 1, and that's pretty much like the deck's main win condition. The deck is not good enough, it doesn't play hand traps, and it can't play hand traps, even though it's like also one of my favorite decks, or at least engines of all time. Trickstar, this deck is trash. If you're trying to just like normal summon a monster that searches something else, there's infinite other options. The only good thing about this deck is the Droll Reincarnation combo, and every single time this deck gets new support, I always laugh at it, because it's always support that makes no sense. It's like, yeah, now your Trickstar deck is a fusion and a link deck, except that never, like, nobody ever played Trickstar as a fusion or as a link deck. They were always, you know, either playing it with a Sky Striker engine or really just relying on, like, Scapegoat and Blackwing go for the Vague Shadow, but they weren't, like, linking off the Trickstar monsters into more Trickstar Link monsters to, like, burn you damage every time, like, you, I don't know, like, you special summon a monster from the Banished or something stupid like that. Now the effect of the cards, they really make no sense, and we can understand that Konami, they really don't want this deck to be another, like, burn bullshit deck or, like, a Droll Reincarnation turbo deck. So yeah, thank God this deck will never re-become as annoying as it used to be. The Agent deck / World Chalice, whatever, you gotta play so many bad cards in order to make it work, so that's actually, if anything, that's this aged catastrophically over the years. God damn, this is terrible. Lyrilusk is low-key not like that bad. I do think that with a little bit more support, it could be great. So I'm gonna put it here. Honestly, it's not too bad. Clifford, that, if anything, could be good if it gets like more support that would make it even like more stunny or more explosive, because right now it's a little too slow, and it's a pendulum deck that has like all the flaws from like Master Rule 4 carried on to Master Rule 5. This deck is just not great. Trap Tricks, if anything, I think is slightly better than Altergeist as a trap deck. This deck is faster, it's better going second, low-key, and it's just overall a cleaner deck. I do like it, I do think it has potential, and again, with more support, it could be even nastier. I don't really think it's ever gonna see too much play over the other trap decks at our disposal, like Eldritch and Labyrinth, especially Labyrinth, oh my god. That deck completely outshines, like, these trap decks, for example. Okay, Rocket / Dragon Link, but not really. This is not really Dragon Link that you've seen without, like, the Rocket cards or with a very small, like, Rocket package. I'm talking about, like, Rocket with, like, Silver Rocket and, you know, the first iteration of it. Yeah, this is... My god. If we're trying to see Rocket come back in Yu-Gi-Oh! And not just Dragon Link in general, it's gonna take a lot, but I do think it can happen. Just because any generic, like, Dragon support could also, like, kind of boost this deck, but we would still need, like, real Rocket monsters. ABC, this deck also ages very, very well, and we're also getting, like, some new support, so that's also really nice. But also, this deck, it gets, like, indirect support every now and then. You know, the Brave Token engine, the Therion engine, every single time, like, there is always a way to make this deck, like, good again, and that's actually really nice. And also, even, like, the Sky Striker engine, I don't know, there's been a lot of, like, cool builds with ABC cards. Satellar Knight, not Sky Striker, Jesus. This deck is very bad, even with the most recent support, just because it's a rank 4 deck that isn't good at making rank 4s. Yeah, let that sink in. Zodiac is catastrophic. That's actually a yikes, because it can only make, like, a Zeus. Yeah, that's really just all it does. There's no Drancia, no Broad Bowl. This deck is cheeks. Infernoble, yeah, you're missing Isolde, but actually, to be fair, it did age very well over the years. I think even without Isolde, the deck could still be good again. It's just that it would have to, like, rely a little less on equip spells, so I'm still gonna put it here. Maybe, I think, if anything, we have a higher likelihood of seeing Infernoble do well without Isolde than Six Samurai do well without Isolde. So I think it does belong, like, here. Feel free to disagree if you want to, if you're a big Six Samurai fan. But I do think that Infernoble, at least recently, has been, infinitely more threatening than this deck. Adamancipator, yeah, this deck needs Block Dragon to come back. It is absolutely not good as it is. So yeah, it needs more support, but if it does get a little bit more support, it could quickly become broken. So I don't know, this deck could actually become really scary. Maybe it might require, like, more support than a deck like Lyrilusk, just because this can't really play a lot of non-engine cards. As a matter of fact, I don't even think you can play a lot of hand shafts because then you start whiffing with your adamant separator effects. So you gotta dedicate a lot of slots to like your engine. You can play Trabrigade Fire King, you can play Trabrigade Sprite. Anyways, Lunalite, also just not good. At all. It seriously needs more support, but then again, if I have like everything in this category, it's gonna be a little unfortunate, so I'm probably just gonna put it there. Maybe here, I don't know, the exact positioning doesn't really matter too much. Lunalite Tiger Tattoo is kinda nice, but it still doesn't change the fact that this deck is garbage. Anyways, Phantom Knight, actually if anything, this deck is already kinda solid. You can play, you know, the Brave Token engine, you can play hold on, what, yeah, the Horus engine, there you go. And yeah, it's not too bad. You can play a decent amount of like board breakers as well. Forbidden Droplet is good in the deck because you're almost trying to get the cards to go into the grave. And yeah, it did actually top a YCS relatively recently-ish in 2024. Shoutouts to Micah if you're watching this, who got top 32 at YCS Sydney with Phantom Knight. So yeah, this deck is nice, if it's in the right hands, of course. And then Alistair deck, bro, that's actually technically a fan favorite and a Konami favorite, of course, because you know, normal summon Alistair will always age very well. And there is a new monster that got revealed recently that is treated as Alistair while it's on the field if you're trying to fusion summon. So yes, I do think that Alistair might make a comeback someday, but I'm probably going to put it at the very bottom. I think the Invoked engine, though, has a lot of potential just overall over the years because, you know, it's just a normal summon that does a lot on its own. I mean, not like that much, but it gets you like an infinite like grind game just by itself, which is really cool. Dragoonity is in a very similar position as Rocket, just because, again, we're not talking about just Dragon Link in general, but rather, you know, a dragon deck that feels very flawed, and this deck really lacks real starters. It feels very not legit, like, at all. Yeah, this deck feels like a scam. Anyways, Eldritch is also a deck that is very good at the current moment. It's all relative, right? Because those decks aren't necessarily like the top tier decks of the format, but some decks that people really like a lot that have been around for quite a while. And Eldritch, out of every deck that is here, I think is already one of the better ones. It's just that it doesn't really get much support, so I can't really put it in like Konami's favorite section, just because Konami keeps forgetting about the existence of Eldritch. However, I do think that it'll get more like direct support really soon. Yeah, sure, the field spell is cool and all, but meh, is it enough? I don't think so. Okay, Lightsworn is not good, even with the most recent support, but it's better than like Tier Elements, maybe-ish, kind of. I'm still gonna put it here, but it's not that great. It's absolutely not. Maybe it's like better than these decks. No, actually, I don't even think so, because you can't even play like non-engine cards in this deck. So going second, you cry every single time. And finally, Spiral ages very well over the years, but it's not even because of Spiral cards. It's because of like Magician Souls and stuff like that, which is mega unfair in the deck. But no, I don't think that Spiral is gonna come back without Master Plan. So I'm probably just gonna keep it there or there. I don't know, but no, it clearly could come back one day, but hopefully not as a tier 0 deck. Anyways, that's all I had for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about these, is it like 35 decks or something? These whatever decks in the comment section below. Do you think that they could come back in the game very soon? Do you think they're already really good? I think I did like a relatively decent job with at least these decks. Maybe not like Alistair the dot deck decks, but everything else should be, you know, relatively clean. But yeah, you guys let me know how you feel about the positioning in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.